if you're a business owner and you've made the decision, a captive insurance company may work for me, the next logical question is, what's the typical structure? How is it supposed to be owned? In this video, what we're going to do is go through how is a typical captive insurance company structured to make sure it's compliant. It is important to cover some key concepts. So we talked about before, a captive insurance company is a C Corp or LLC taxed as a C Corp. It's a separate business. It insures the risk of a primary business or the employees of a business in the form of health insurance. Now, the IRS passed something called the PATH Act in 2015. And what the PATH Act said is the owner of the captive has to be the same as the owner of the underlying business with regard to spouses and lineal descendants. So in a contrast, so our typical captives today are set up, you have a patriarch and matriarch that own the business. They create a captive insurance company that insures that business. So they own the captive. Pre-PATH Act days, there were structures where a patriarch and matriarch would own the business, and they would have the captive owned by their children or a trust for their children. Or the patriarch would own it, and the matriarch would own the captive insurance company, thus getting money from one generation past the estate and gift tax line. The IRS didn't like that. So they went to Congress, and Congress passed the law that said the owner of the business and the owner of the captive have to be the same with regard to spouses and lineal descendants. So our typical structure today is you have a business owner. They own the business. They have employees. You also have the captive insurance company. The shareholders of the business are the same shareholders of the captive insurance company. They pay deductible premiums from their business over to their captive insurance company, issuing policies to the business that insure the business, whether it's general liability, workers' comp, health insurance, covering the employees. So there's a lot of different policies they can write, which we've covered in other videos. But the typical structure nowadays is the business owner and the captive owners are one and the same. Let me give you some other flavors. Let's say you have 2 or 3 business owners, and only one of those wants to do the captive or wants to own the captive. Well, they can own different percentages. So if you and I are partners in the business and you want the captive and I don't, you could own 100% of the captive as long as we're not a parent-child or a husband and wife. So that gives you a general overview of the typical captive insurance structure. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. We monitor and we will get back and answer your questions. You can also go to our website, and I'd highly recommend you go to riskmgmtadvisors.com. That's riskmgmtadvisors.com, and at the top of the page, there's the captive insurance assessment. And you go in there, if you're a business owner, you put in your information, and it'll spit out a report that says you're an ideal candidate and this is the reason why. And if you're not, it'll tell you these are the reasons why a captive may not work for you. If you're a client advisor, you put in your client's information and it gives you the same stuff. This works for your client because of this and doesn't work because of this. So once again, thank you for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.